and have a look yourself.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get things underway. In accordance with our local law, at a special meeting to elect the Mayor, the CEO presides over the start of the meeting, so here I am. Just need to give you all notice that under clause 91(4) of the Government and Meeting Conduct Local Law provides for the following. The meeting will be recorded to improve access to our meeting for the community. The recording will be published and will be retained by Council in accordance with our legal obligations. And as a visitor in the public gallery, your presence may be recorded. Can I ask Councillor Benton to do the acknowledgement of traditional owners and the prayer?
We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we are meeting. We pay our respect to the elders and the elders from other communities as we may be here today. The opening prayer. Almighty God, we humbly ask Thee to bless and guide this council into deliberations so that we may truly preserve the welfare of the people whom we serve. Amen.
Thank you, Councillor Benton. All councillors are present and there are no apologies or leave of absence. Are there any conflicts of interest on any items tonight? No, thank you. Over to officers' reports. Item 7.1, mayoral term of office.
Thank you, Brendan. The order of this meeting is set out in Council's local government law concerning governance and meeting conduct. The next item in the agenda is to determine the term of office for the Mayor. This can be 1 or 2 years.
Thank you. Can I have somebody move the motion including the term?
I'll move the motion for a term of 1 year.
Thanks, Councillor Rees. Seconder. Councillor Benton. Any discussion? No, the motion is carried. Item 7.2 is the Mayor's outgoing speech, so I'll ask Councillor Clark to read his speech.
Thank you, Mr. McGrath. As I sat down to write this report, I reflected on how far I believe this council has come in the 12 months since our election. In my opinion, the council's standing in the community was at the lowest I've ever known it to be at the time of our election to office. And I cannot thank my Deputy Mayor and fellow councillors enough as we sought to rebuild the trust of the community. Let me say also that Councillor Benton has always been there when I've needed a second opinion. And living out of town as well as running a farm, he also attended sheep and cattle sales, so time was valuable. But when needed, he was always available. Harvey and all councillors have represented me at times of need, and I'm very thankful of that. We've worked as a team and I'm sure the community appreciate our endeavours by our attention to their wants. I know in my heart that it was an effort for councillors to feel welcome in City Hall when we were first elected, as we tried to win over the officers and staff. But with perseverance, I know we are now welcomed and treated as equals by the staff as we go about our decision-making roles. From my reflection, I feel very welcome, and especially with the customer service team, who now ask what I've been doing. I make sure my collar is turned over properly, and how much do you have on today? My drop-in sessions have been well attended, and the staff have, I think, appreciated the fact the Mayor has had a continued presence at the coalface. The untimely death of Councillor Amery so early in our term was a shock for us all. And as I said at a memorial service, she added a great deal of colour to the 4 walls in the ovens room. Ruth's passion for the arts was always on show, and her contribution has certainly been missed these last couple of months. But we must move on, and the election of Ashley Fitzpatrick now sees Brenda Rattle as the youngest councillor in Victoria. We have achieved some things during the past 12 months, not as much as we all hoped, but we're slowly but surely making the rural city a better place to live, work and play. Our 2017-18 budget sees a capital works program of some 31 million, and council is pushing the Barrow to have at least 90% of that done in this financial year. Timelier reporting and a desire of council to keep asking pertinent questions has the staff motoring along at top pace. Things are starting to show, such as the construction and drainage works carried out in Docker Street, completed on time and under budget. This is just one example of how good planning now taking place. I am excited to see the start of the development in Park Lane. I do remember when there were 2 hockey fields on Bar 2, but I trust that when finished, it will give the city another excellent oval for juniors, for Auskick and junior football. Whilst I personally have opposed the construction of a new 50-metre outdoor pool, council has made a decision to actively pursue funding options. So this is still on our radar, and I will support the actions of my fellow councillors. We will be making a start on the additional hydrotherapy pool early in 2018. So this is another addition to the sporting complex at the Bar Reserve, and I signed a press release today that we've gone out to tender for the hydrotherapy pool. It has certainly not been all beer and skittles, but my year as mayor has been made enjoyable by having a committed band of councillors, the CEO and his management team, who I've found great to work with, and staff who have expected and welcomed me wherever I have turned up. So to all associated with the Royal City, thank you for your friendship and tolerance. I've really appreciated it. I must thank my family and friends who have been there when I've needed a meal or a sounding board. You have been the reason that I've been able to put so much effort into the position, and I thank you all sincerely. Last but not least, there is a young lady who has been my rock over the journey. No matter what I've wanted, be it to go and get me some hearing aid batteries, arrange for the flowers that I wish to send to someone, organised accommodation in a room where I didn't have to climb in the bath to shower, taken all my appointments and reminded me of ones needing attention, ensuring that I had my speeches written, helped me with computer glitches, printed my agendas and even attended functions when asked. Dedication is something this lady has, and I respect her so much for all she has done to make my position as the #1 citizen of the Rural City such a pleasure. Without her, I don't know how I would have coped. Rebecca, will you please come up here and expect a small gift to show my appreciation?
Because I haven't had enough flowers already. Oh, thank you, Mr. And we make a new chair.
Thanks, Councillor Clark. I think it would be appropriate that we move a motion to receive the outgoing mayor's speech. Can I have someone move and second that, please? Councillor Russell and Councillor Benson. Everyone in favour? Thank you, that's carried. On to the main event, the election of the mayor. I'll just do a quick run through of the process for people. Chair is the CEO, obviously. Councillors can nominate either themselves or others. We don't need a seconder for any nomination for the position. The vote will be by a show of hands. Each councillor has one vote. Simple majority of vote wins. In the event that we have no candidate getting a majority of votes, the lowest voting candidate will be dropped off and the vote will be recast. So with that, can I ask for nomination for the position of mayor, please?
Yes, I'd like to nominate our former mayor and Councillor Ken Clark.
Thanks, Councillor Rees. Are there any other nominations?
I would like to nominate Councillor Dave Fuller, please.
Thank you, Councillor Russell. So again, by a simple show of hands, and I just ask councillors to keep their hands in the air long enough to make sure that we can properly account for them.
in alphabetical order. Those supporting Councillor Clark, Councillor Rees, Councillor Benton, Councillor Fitzpatrick and Councillor Curry, and those supporting Councillor Fuller and Councillor Bussell. I declare Councillor Clark elected Mayor. Congratulations. I'll ask Councillor Clark to come forward and assume the chair and make his incoming speech if he wishes to.
Thank you very much, councillors. It's certainly an honour to represent this city and to be elected as mayor of the city. And like I said last year, I'm 100% for the city, and I'll do everything in my power to make sure we're a better place to live and work. .5, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This recommendation is going to be split into two. There's two parts that we will move and then we'll conduct the election of the Deputy Mayor if the Council so decides to do so. First, the Council must decide that they will actually have the position of a Deputy Mayor. So the first part of the recommendation is that Council makes a determination on the establishment of the position of Deputy Mayor of Wanganora Rural City Council for a term equivalent to the term of the Office of Mayor, as resolved in item 7.1, and having determined to appoint the Deputy Mayor, call for nominations for the position of Deputy Mayor of Wanganora Council, and that Deputy Mayor be subsequently elected for the term of office equivalent to the term of the Office of the Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have someone determined that we establish a Deputy Mayor, Councillor Bussell, Councillor Fuller. Put the motion, those in favour? Motion carried. Now we've determined to appoint a Deputy Mayor. I'll call for nomination for the position of Deputy Mayor of the Rural City, and that the Deputy Mayor be elected for a term of office equivalent to the term of office of the Mayor, as resolved by Council.
I'd like to put forward for Councillor Curry for the role of Deputy Mayor.
Have any other nominations? Being no further nominations, I'll declare Councillor Curry elected as Deputy Mayor for the next 1 year. Congratulations. Appointment of portfolios and committees.
Do we? I'm just going to introduce this item. It's the appointments of portfolios and committees. I'll just read out the portfolios as they are recommended. They are the Infrastructure and Emergency Services portfolio, the Agriculture portfolio, Planning portfolio, Economic and Development, Community Wellbeing, Family, Youth and Disability portfolio, Arts and Culture, Sport and Recreation portfolio and Environment portfolio, Tourism and Events portfolio. Part 2 of the recommendation aligns those portfolios to committees, and the holder of the portfolio will serve on those particular committees. There is also Part 2G of the recommendation that requests Council to appoint 2 councillors to the Audit Advisory Committee. Part 2H asks Council to appoint a councillor to the Wangaratta Festival of Jazz Incorporated. And part 3 amends the council charters to reflect the appropriate portfolio appointments.
How would you like to handle as councillors? We do have a list of suggested portfolios.
There's any debate about that, can we just start reading them off one by one as to who will be doing that? Just vote on it. Yeah.
I'll move that the suggested positions be accepted, and upon a seconder, will Brendan just read those positions?
So through the chair, the Mayor, Councillor Clark on the Audit Advisory Committee, Regional Cities Victoria, the Hume Region Local Government Network and the MAB, Councillor Benton in the Infrastructure and Emergency Services and Agriculture, and also on the Municipal Emergency Management Planning Committee, the Municipal Fire Management Planning Committee, Timber Towns and the Ag Advisory Committee. Deputy Mayor Councillor Curry in the portfolio of Economic Development on both the Economic Development Advisory Committee and the Audit Advisory Committee. Councillor Fuller in the portfolio of Arts, Culture, Sport, Rec and Environment. Also sitting on Sport and Rec Advisory Committee, Arts, Culture and Heritage Advisory Committee, the Wangaratta Festival of Jazz, Friends of Lacluta and the Place Naming Committee. Councillor Rees with the Planning Portfolio and also sitting on the Economic Development and Tourism Advisory Committee. Councillor Bussell with the portfolio of Tourism and Events, also sitting on the Economic Development and Tourism Advisory Committee. And Councillor Fitzpatrick with the new portfolio of Community Wellbeing, Family, Youth and Disability, and also sitting on the Youth Council.
Thank you. Any discussion? Yes. Patrick. No discussion, I'll put the motion. Those in favour? Motion's carried.
Now through the chair, despite Ruth Kneebone's best endeavours to get us to do the previous one properly, I think she's right. I think we did miss an item. We did elect Councillor Curry Mayor, but we didn't actually have anybody move and second that we determined the person holding the position of Deputy Mayor is appointed as Acting Mayor, and that if there is a vacancy due to the Mayor's absence, that the Deputy Mayor would act in that role. So we just need someone to move and second part 2 and 4 of that motion.
Councillor Bussell, Councillor Fuller. Any discussion? Declare the motion carried. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attendance. That's the end of the statutory meeting. Call the special meeting now. In my previous office council, it was always the statutory meeting, but it's now a special meeting. So I'll declare the special meeting of the rural city of Wangaratta closed and ask you all to join us for refreshments out in the foyer. Thank you very much for your attendance.